Well, new this morning, President Trump reaffirmed the country's goal of sending Americans back to the moon within 3 years. And it comes in a new executive order on space policy. The order also sets a goal of starting work on a permanent outpost on the moon by 2030. And it confirms NASA's plans to use nuclear power for launches. Joining us live to discuss this is retired NASA astronaut Leroy Chiao. So let's talk about this new executive order. What is the Trump administration's overall goal with the space program?
So the NASA of today is certainly not the NASA that it was during the Apollo program, or even the shuttle program or the ISS program. And to put that into context, we went from zero, no NASA, to landing humans on the moon in just under 11 years. And the current exploration program, in one form or another, has been going on since 2004, and we have still not launched a single astronaut into space on it in 21 years. So something needs to be done. You see this new NASA administrator, Jared Isaacman. I personally think he's the right choice. I signed a letter in support of him. He's vowed to slash bureaucracy and get things under control. So hopefully we can get humans back to the moon sooner rather than later. Having said that, 2028 is an extremely ambitious goal. It was already very aggressive to try to get there by 2030. But if Jared Isaacman can get things done quickly, then there's a shot at it. But the unknown, of course, Jared Isaacman has never worked in politics in Washington, D.C. Is he going to get eaten alive, or does he have a chance to actually get something done? A lot of enemies that don't want things to change, and it's not just NASA, it's any big bureaucracy.
Yeah, DC could be a tough place, that's for sure. So let's talk a little bit more about that this ambitious goal of establishing a permanent lunar outpost by 2030. How would that be done, and what exactly would it look like in your view?
Sure. So technology exists to do all these things. We could have been doing those, after not long after the original moon landings in the 60s and 70s. So the technology exists. It's the matter of money and political commitment, right? And having a political reason to do it. So yeah, we've always said we wanted to establish lunar bases, at least in the current exploration program. But the timeline has always been a little bit vague for all those reasons we just discussed. As far as nuclear power goes, that absolutely makes sense to have nuclear reactors on the moon, and especially on a place like Mars, where solar arrays are going to be much less effective because it's farther from the sun. Even on the moon, you've got most of the moon, you have a day-night cycle of 28 days. And so during the nighttime, temperatures plummet. You don't have sunlight for solar arrays to work. So you've got to rely on batteries just to have enough power to keep things warm enough to survive. And so nuclear power really is the way to go. And so modern small modular fission reactor technology, we're going to try to rely on that. And it makes a lot of sense.
All right, and the order also talks about countering security threats to U.S. space interests. What kind of threats could emerge?
Well, of course, there's a very big military side to space, bigger than the civil side that we see through NASA, much bigger. And so we don't know everything that's going on. Of course, we know that several countries, including the US, have been operating spy satellites for a number of years. We've got other capabilities that the public may not know about. I certainly don't know about. We have the X-37B, which has been intriguing. It's been flying missions, winged vehicle with no astronauts on board, but it's been flying missions in space and durations well over a year, changing orbits. And there's a lot of speculation as to what vehicles like that might be doing. So, it's important to keep our edge in space. I think it's the so-called high ground, the ultimate high ground, if you will. And we do need to keep the lead in that to keep our country secure.
That's really important context. Leroy Chiao, thank you so much for coming on the show and laying it out for us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.